Hi, I'm Christian. Welcome back to another On the Road video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Stop. Before beginning any repair, always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for proper voltage. Remember to also turn off the water. Today we're working on a Maytag top-load washing machine. The customer's complaint is that it comes up with a suds error or a F71, which means either they're using too much detergent. It can also mean that the basket is not engaging in the spin. So what we found out is the splines on the actual drive hub had been worn down, and that's what's not engaging the basket into spin. So today we're going to be replacing the drive hub. To begin the repair, we first must open the lid to the washer so we can access the impeller or the wash plate assembly. The tools you will need to complete this repair are a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, a small flat blade screwdriver, an 11mm socket with a ratchet. Now that the lid's open, we have access to the actual impeller. We want to remove the impeller cap here. To do so, we're using a small flat blade screwdriver, and we're finding the insert so we can pry it in there and lift the cap off. That exposes the actual mounting bolts. Using a ratchet and a 11mm bit, we're going to remove the actual bolts. Now when we do this, we do have to hold on to the actual impeller. Once it's broken free, I'm going to remove the socket from the ratchet and just unscrew the rest of it by hand. Once it's out, we'll go ahead and pull it out all the way and set it aside. Now using both hands, I'm going to grab one on each fin and pull directly up. You might have to wiggle the impeller a little bit. And we'll go ahead and set it aside. This now exposes the actual drive hub. There's two pieces to the drive hub, the outer drive hub and then the inner drive hub. The inner drive hub is what does wear down over time. So to remove the actual drive hub, there are 6 number 2 Phillips screws that secure it in place. So we'll go ahead and remove them all. And when you're removing these, make sure that these screws do not fall. If they fall in the actual outer tub, we will have to remove the inner tub to get the screws back. So once all the screws have been removed, we can now pull up on the drive hub. Usually the outer half will come out first, and then the inner half. Sometimes the inner half is a little difficult, so you might have to wiggle it a little bit, or use some pliers or a flat blade screwdriver to help you remove it. There you go. We'll set it aside. So right now we're lining up the old hub with the new hub. This kit is for 2 different sets of hubs. The only thing that is different are the actual outer part of the hub. So as you can see, I'm gonna rotate this a little bit on its side. As you can see, this one is very flush on the very bottom. On this, the 2 new ones we get, one has rigid lines and it's not flush, and the other one's flush. So we want to make sure we use the correct hub and just line it up with the old one. So we're going to use the one that's very flush on the bottom. Now that we have our new part, let's install it. To begin the installation, the first step is to actually install the inner hub, which is the white one. So we're going to line it up with the splines of the drive shaft and then push straight down. Now you might get some resistance and you might have to work with it. Just make sure it is flush as far down as possible. Once it is, we can now install the top one over it. When we do so, we want to make sure that the screw holes on the actual hub line up with the actual inner tub. So once the screw holes are pretty much lined up, we can now reinstall the 6 Phillips screws we removed earlier to secure the hub to the basket. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually place these screws in the slots provided by hand. That way they don't accidentally fall inside the actual tub. Once they're in there, I will go ahead and fasten them. Not all the way, but most of the way. That way I know they're all fastened correctly. Now that the drive hub is in place, we can now reinstall the impeller or the wash plate. We're gonna line up the wash plate with the splines on the drive shaft and push it straight down. And we can now resecure the wash plate with the 11mm bolt. I'm gonna start it by hand and then fasten it all the way with the ratchet. So before, when I was unscrewing the actual bolt, when I would unscrew it, the impeller would move. And so with the impeller would move, but the outer tub wouldn't. And now, as you can see, as I'm fastening it, whenever I'm turning it, the impeller and the outer tub are moving. So I know that the new drive hub is in place properly. The last step is to install the actual wash plate cap. We're going to line it up and press right on. We can now test the unit for leaks, and this will complete your repair. Thank you for watching another quality in-home repair video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.